That's letting people pick which fantasy race they would like to be mommy and daddy to. In the mating manual I'm putting together. By the way, this is what the inside of a kobold looks like. They do this by grabbing the ruby gold, but let's talk about people who have inserted characters into the lore. Because while some people have elected to get their characters into the lore of certain series, others have chosen to take a different approach. So let's look at how some players have impacted the world. Let's talk about the one-of-a-kind male Imperivan, Drake. And if you know anything about Impirvans, you know that they're all flying cat girls. No, base Impirvans are not sentient. And it's not until later they evolve into red diamonds or black diamonds that they do gain sentience. They're like really, really smart cats. And that's important to know because Drake is not an evolved Impirvan, which means he does not have sentiency. Drake is from the Creighton Desert and specifically located near Yokohama. And that's exactly where Stroke, the god of summer seasons, is. And guess what his holy animal is? Oh, that's right, Impirvans. But after a very unpleasant encounter with the god, well, specifically his royal Impirvan, Eclipse, Drake was like, you know what, I'm leaving. He began a trek to get into the goddess of death's territory, Reaper. And to do this, he was going to travel south down the Sur Nile and then east along the Red Line and the Grand Lane. But Drake ran into an issue. But the thing is, he was running into several issues actually traveling down the Sur Nile because all of these are basically port stops. The amount of water traffic along here is insane. Not having proper understanding of what's going on because, you know, he's not been integrated into society, this caused a lot of potential combat situations. As far as anyone else is concerned, he's a monster just like this thing. But the real problems came after he passed Spilro. Because off to the east of Spilro, he started getting a scent of a female version of his kind. That's right. He was having a really strong sense of Impirvans off in this area. And the first problem with that is, Impirvans are incredibly territorial. So for him to walk up in there would basically mean a fight is about to happen. But because of the strength of the scent, meant that there were multiple Impirvans. And for my longtime viewers, we know that in Stroke's territory, the Creighton Desert, he uses Impirvans as basically aerial supremacy. They'll usually do this by setting up bases, attaching child soldiers to them that they can actually ride into combat with. But what he was most likely smelling was a military launching post for an Impirvan squad. Because even though we're getting outside the desert, Stroke is still responsible for all this territory, which means Impirvans still appear here, though not as much. So rightfully choosing to just continue, this is where the big problems came into play. Because he found a woman, haggard, malnourished, covered in dirty clothes, and smelling rancid, walking haggardly along the river. And while feeling some tinge of empathy to want to help this